Well, good morning, day number 2. It's a little cloudy out today. I think it's going to be overcast all day long, which will be interesting. It was a bit cold last night. It dropped down to a low of 29 degrees Fahrenheit. And I didn't even put all my layers on, and I was kind of cold throughout the night. I kept waking up and feeling kind of chilly, but I was too lazy to get up and put my other layers on, so I just kind of suffered through it. And anyways, I'm gonna get my breakfast going, get my the rest of my camp packed up, and then I'm gonna hit the trail and head over to our campsite for night 2. Not a bad spot. Got my little day camp section over there. The living room, the bedroom. So we are back on the trail. Well, actually we're not. Holy crap. All right, well, I almost just like ran into a gigantic rabbit. Like I almost kicked it and it went running. I don't know if they're actually rabbits. I don't know the technical name of this type of animal, but for the duration of this trip, since I don't know, I'm just gonna call them rabbits. I've seen a few of them on the trip so far, and it's like I keep running into them while I'm talking on camera, and it's like they don't seem to mind hearing my voice until they see me, and then they take off running super fast. But anyways, yeah, so we are back on the road again, day 2. I'm gonna go reconnect with the trail, and then we're doing a short hike today, just 4 miles over to the area where I'm gonna camp for night number 2. And then I do have another 2-mile detour to go get my second water cache. So that'll put us at about 6 miles for the day. Nothing crazy. I thought it was going to be cloudy all day, but at least for now the sun is out. It's pretty warm, and should be a good day. All right, well, we're out here on the trail, about halfway on my way to where I'm gonna camp for tonight, and getting closer to one of the roads. I've been seeing more day hikers out on the trail. Today is a Thursday. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I don't know if you can see, but somewhere right over there is the road. There's cars parked, and I'm heading over that way. I'm gonna cross the road at some point and go continue on the other side of it. But the trail here is so nice, you know. Been going through a lot of really rocky sections today, going through little canyons, down little dry riverbeds and amongst big boulders and stuff, but the trail is extremely well maintained and very flat and smooth as it goes through all of those features. So I've been able to keep a pretty good pace when I'm not wandering around taking pictures and stuff. So that makes it easy. If you need to kill some miles in a little bit of a quicker time, you definitely can out here in Joshua Tree. So, and it's all flat for the most part. Tomorrow I'll be doing some elevation, but other than that, the main trail is just all flat and smooth. It's always a kind of surreal sight to see cars driving by in the middle of a backpacking trip. But one of the benefits of these roads crisscrossing through the desert is that it does give you a lot of options for dropping water caches, which you need to do if you're going to come out backpacking for more than one night, because otherwise you'd have to pack all your water in. So looking at the map, I just realized that I actually have to do about a 5-minute walk on the road until I cross over to the other side. But I might just try and get off the road into the desert and just hike off trail instead of walking along the road. We'll see what the terrain's like. Try to stay out in the wilderness, at least pretend I'm not right near civilization. We'll see what it looks like when we get over there. Alright, so we sort of snuck along the road for a few minutes there, and now we're back on the official trail and heading away from the road again, and we'll be back to some peace and quiet before too long. And some pretty cool rock features out here on this side of the road. This guy over here is giant, and we are heading off that way into the valley. Man, after breaking away from the road and just coming over this little ridge here, seeing this epic valley out in front of me, it's just so beautiful. As soon as I broke away from the road, everything got super silent and quiet. And man, this is so inspiring, just this view. I'm gonna be walking straight down into this canyon, this valley here, and just seeing the mountains behind me. That one mountain range way in the distance that's kind of half covered by fog, you know, it's got some snow peaks on the top of it, and it's just so incredible. It's like I can feel the vibe of the mountains, and everything is just silent and beautiful. And this is one of those moments where I just feel re-energized, and I'm just super excited to do the last bit of this hike, and hopefully find some kind of a cool campground out in there that gets you know, some of these views in it. So wow, this is just so awesome. I love finding kind of different areas while I'm on a backpacking trip with different feels to it, and this one's definitely got a feel, and just incredible. So just looked on my map, and actually I'm going to be taking a hard left, and I'm not going to be heading down towards this valley. I'm going to be heading over that way that away behind me. But tomorrow, that's actually where my day hike is planned, to do a 10-mile loop all the way down in there and up on some of the peaks and all the way around, a big loop down in that area. So I'm definitely excited about exploring that tomorrow, especially with a lighter load. And so we'll get down in there sometime tomorrow. But for tonight, we're going to take off in another direction and go explore some other areas of the park. Yeah. All right, so just coming over this ridge here, and we're getting a view again of the valley. Out there, this is the same valley where I camped in last night, except this is a different part of it. And this is basically our destination, is to go straight down in there, find a campsite for the night, and then tomorrow I'll be coming back up here into these mountain ranges and doing a bunch of exploring. So got about another mile, maybe a mile and a quarter to get down into the valley. Okay, so just heading off the trail now and heading into the valley, and I think my destination is going to be that little crop of rocks right out there. Looks like really the only big group of rocks in this general vicinity. So somewhere out there, big finger, somewhere out there, we'll find a place to camp for the night, kind of in the middle of the valley. And sort of running out of daylight. I have a feeling by the time I get down there and get my tent set up and everything, by the time I'm ready to go do the additional 2 miles to get my water, I might be doing that in the dark, but that'll be okay. It's just kind of walking through the flat desert over to the road and back, no big deal. So I need to get going, get out to that rock formation, find a place to camp, and get my tent up. All right, so this is option number 1, kind of right in here. It is a little bit sloped. I don't really see any spot that's perfectly flat, so we'd be on a bit of a slope. I'm gonna keep going around the other side of this rock formation, but this would give me just the perfect view of the valley and the mountains. So pretty much can't lose with any spot up here. So it looks like this is the other option in this particular area, just right here. It's a bit more flat, looking off the other side of the valley, which is a great view. The plan is for this to be my campsite for tonight and tomorrow night, so I want to make sure it's a good one. All right, so we're all set with the tent. I did bring my rain fly on this trip. I think I'm gonna set up my rain fly to cover the back half, leave the front half kind of open so I can still get the views and stuff while I'm in there. Wow. So given that the official sunset is in just about 35 minutes from now, and I still have to do a 2-mile walk to get my water, which will probably take me about that time, I would be walking directly away from the sunset. So the sun and all the cool colors and stuff would be at my back. So I am gonna just chill here at camp. I still got a liter of water with me. I'm gonna chill until the sun has set and it's pretty much gotten dark. And then I'm just gonna throw on the headlamp and go get my water after the sun goes down, because this is just too beautiful out here to spend walking with my back to it all the way over to the road to get my water. Well, I could sit here and spend the next 30 minutes watching the sky change colors, but I think I am actually going to go over and get my water and try and get over to the water cache before it gets completely dark. Just so, you know, I have to get over to where the water is, and then I actually have to find the water bottles that I hid in a bush somewhere. So I'd rather do that while it's still a little bit light out. So I'm going to go ahead and head over there, and then I'll probably be coming back for the most part in the dark. But again, not a big deal, just a flat stretch through the desert of about 1 mile each way. So water cache somewhere right kind of at the base of those mountains over there. Well, I just picked up my water cache and I got about a mile back to camp and it just started dumping rain. Wow, there was no rain in the forecast. I even checked it this morning, 0% chance of rain, and it is dumping right now. And of course, since I was just coming over to grab my water, I left my clothes bag, including my rain jacket, back at camp. So I have no rain jacket. I have no idea how long this is gonna last. I got a good 20-30 minute walk back to camp.
I quickly took my down jacket off and stuffed it in my backpack. I have a pack liner in there, so that'll stay dry. But the clothes I'm wearing at the moment, if this keeps going for too much longer, I am gonna get pretty wet. Wow, that is really interesting. It is dumping, not just raining, but like pouring. We'll see how long this lasts. Hopefully just for a few moments, but the things that happen out in the desert. And of course I don't have my rain jacket with me. May that be a lesson. If you ever depart camp, always bring your rain jacket, even if there's 0% chance of rain in the desert. Oh boy. All right, I'm getting a little cold. I gotta keep moving. All right, so this is turning into a little bit of a situation now. The rain has not stopped. I'm getting pretty soaking wet. And it just occurred to me that because half of my tent is exposed without the rain fly covering it, I threw my down quilt into the tent before I left, which means it's sitting in the tent and the back half of my tent is getting soaking wet, which means I don't exactly remember what part of the tent I threw my down quilt into, but if it is exposed on the back half, it's getting soaking wet right now. And we are dipping down in temperatures towards freezing again tonight, which means this could put me in a little bit of a situation where if my down quilt is soaking wet and the layers I'm currently wearing right now are soaking wet and we're getting down into freezing temps, yeah, I could have some choices to make tonight about whether this starts to constitute some kind of emergency or not. I am less than an hour walk from my car where I am at the moment, so it's not going to be like life-threatening or anything like that, but yeah, I was not expecting this. I am just praying right now that my down quilt is under the portion of my tent that is covered with the rain fly, and thank goodness I threw at least half of it on before I left. All right, let's see what we got here. Half the tent exposed, and oh gosh, that's not what you want to see. Oh man, the entire quilt was exposed and is soaking wet from what I can see. That's bad. That is bad. Well, we're gonna go in there and see if, this quilt does have some water resistance on the surface. We're gonna see what part of it got wet, how soaked it was, and man, put the rain fly on. My concern was sunburn in the morning. The last thing on my mind was a raining downpour. But we put the rain fly on, but we only put it halfway on. If only I had just put the whole thing on, that would have saved me. Oh well, you live and you learn. Never trust the weather forecast. All right, so situation report. It's not good. It's not good. I'm optimistic, but my down quilt is completely soaked, both the inside and the outside. And I can only assume the down feathers inside the quilt are at least damp, if not soaked as well. I just spent about 45 minutes taking a microfiber towel and wiping down all the moisture that I could possibly get out of it, along with, in one corner of my tent, a full inch of standing water in the bottom of the tent. Soaked that all up. That took about 50 times of soaking the microfiber towel and wringing it out before I got that dry. The good news is my clothes is all dry. The clothes I was wearing when it was raining have dried out. I saved my down jacket. That stayed dry. My sleep pad, my inflatable sleep pad, was not yet deployed. It was still in its bag. It's dry, so I'll have dry insulation underneath me. The temperature is not quite supposed to reach 32 degrees Fahrenheit tonight, so it'll be right above freezing, so that's good. And it's still relatively early. It's about 6 p.m. right now, even though it's pitch black and feels like midnight. So I got some time before the temperature drops to its lowest point for the night, and I'm really actually trying to go to sleep. So basically, I got a soaking wet down quilt, trying to spend the night in near freezing temperatures, and I'm gonna do it. Basically the plan is I'm gonna eat a bunch of food. I'm gonna put on all of my layers. I'm gonna do about 100 jumping jacks outside the tent and just warm myself up as much as possible. And then I'm gonna jump into the quilt, zip everything up, and just spend the next few hours in there, hoping that my body heat will dry out some of the moistness and the wetness in the quilt. And then we'll just have to see if that's enough for me to survive the full night in a soaking wet quilt. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys in a little bit and see how we're doing.
Well, guys, I got some bad news. I've been in the tent now for a couple hours in the wet down quilt, trying to stay warm. The temperature's been dropping a bit, and you know what? I gotta take some layers off because I'm freaking hot. I'm actually doing just fine. It seems like in the last couple hours, the quilt, for the most part, dried out. I'm staying toasty warm, and so mission accomplished. I'm gonna survive. That was a little scare there with the soaking wet down quilt. I still can't believe that happened, but everything's okay. There's just a little slight smell of like wet socks kind of smell. It's probably from the quilt, but tomorrow I will get it out and let it dry in the sun until it's completely dry, and then we'll be all right to continue on. So I have eaten all my food. I have brushed my teeth. I am warm, comfy, grateful to be dry and surviving this cold winter night. I am going to settle in, get to sleep, count my lucky stars that I'm dry and warm, and look forward to another day in the desert tomorrow morning. So I will see you guys then. Good night.